in chapter 37 now, Sylveste gets to that chamber with the 2 orbs in it, and he's now approaching them. He's decided against his better judgment. He's already come this far. He's dedicated his life to it. He's going. Volyova, on the other hand, they're getting hunted down by the ship. The ship's blasting them, and they've decided that they're ditching the shuttle because it's being blasted apart. They say, get to the spider room, get to the spider room. Volyova tries programming in a last maneuver, and the ship breaks apart. Curry and Pascal get to the spider room, and they escape. Curry has to claw her way into it through vacuum, too. She gets exposed to vacuum, and she blacks out. When Curry wakes up again, Pascal says, yeah, we're kind of heading towards the big neutron star, and that's not great for our chances of living. So, out of the pot into the whatever they say.
Hey, chapter 38. So, Curry and Pascal made it through, right? And where was Ilya? Well, she previously said that she didn't make it, but we later find out that she did actually survive. She didn't make it with them, but she's still alive, thank God. And Pascal just had like little burns on her hands, like little like frostbite on her hands, but she was good. Where is Volyova though? She just has like a helmet on, and she's just kind of like, that's the way she survived. Instead of, the time that she could have used, the time she had to get through, she said, no, I'm gonna use this time to put a helmet on.
Sylveste and his dad, who is in his brain, who is having thoughts for him, is approaching the jewel. The jewel is different from the inhibitor device. This jewel, they pass through it, and he can't even comprehend it. And they basically come to a conclusion that it scanned them. They don't know why it scanned them, but it scanned them, and he gained all the knowledge of how it was created. And it was something insane that I can't figure out because I'm not smart enough. But basically, I'm going to try and parse through it here.
Oh, what did he say? He said he'd rather have it as a memory than to actually know
because it was too much to know.
Jeez.
Yeah.
That's how I felt reading this.
Yeah, exactly. Me too. But if you guys are confused, it's a star that was about to become a black hole, but then they put other black holes, or they put other gravitational masses around it to pull on it to stop it from collapsing all the way, and they made it into a neutron star computer. And the jewel is the entrance into it. You can enter it through the jewel without having to step on the neutron star. It scans you and puts you into the computer. So Sylveste is still physically there, but a copy of him has been scanned onto the computer, the neutron star. And
I feel like this was like a perfect opportunity for Alastair Reynolds to like implement his little like nerdy like theories into the book.
I think that is a nerdy theory.
Exactly. So he's like,
I'm doing it right now.
He's like, this is perfect. I'm gonna write this into the book, and then he just dropped it all on us.
Plop, and that's the computer.
If you know, you know. Kind of
if
thing.
You know, you know. If you don't know, it's a neutron star computer.
Yeah.
And it simulates in it, so it captures them, and they go towards the mysterious inhibitor relic. Pascal and Kyre are going towards the star the hard way, though. They're going towards the computer, and they're like, let's get hammered because we're going to die, and painfully so. Because the neutron star is basically, this is a little bit easier. It's really small but really massive, and so the gravity will stretch everything out, spaghettify it, rip it into shreds before depositing it on the surface. So that doesn't sound pleasant. So they decided to get hammered.
Let's drink. Let's drink to that.
Let's drink to getting spaghettified.
Spaghettified and then ripped.
Yeah. But yeah, that's a good way to go out. That's it.
So is it just Pascal and...
It's just Pascal and Kyre going towards the neutron star.
So where is Ilya though?
She's just floating.
Just floating? She's just like observing all this going on?
She can't really move because she's floating.
Yeah, exactly. So she's just watching.
She's watching. She's waiting for the ship to kill her. Okay, final chapter of this book. It's been a journey, hasn't it?
It's been the longest month-long journey.
Definitely not a month. Definitely didn't take a year, better part of a year to do this.
I feel like we're in the same time frame as them. The same amount of time that's passed.
Yeah, that is true. Making these videos takes forever, and it kind of puts us in the same time scale, traveling across space forever. But this last part, the last 2 chapters all happen in a day or so, so...
That's why we're speedrunning.
A few days, actually. It takes 5 days. Sylveste approaches the inhibitor relic, and he decides, maybe it's not a good idea now that I kind of know what this thing is. And that doesn't really matter, though, because that's when, behind him, metaphysically, Sunstealer appears. He's like, I'm in your head, Dan. Ooh, I have control of your thing. I have control of your suit. And Sylveste goes, uh-oh, he's really gonna make me kill everyone, isn't he? He's really gonna make me. And basically, Sunstealer explains to Sylveste now what happened. Sunstealer was sent to make Dan Sylveste activate the inhibitor, because
they needed a human, not like a human, but
a person, a biological, to go tap the inhibitor thing, basically tap it, say, hey, are you still awake? And if the inhibitor machines wake up and kill all the humans, well then Sunstealer's people know that it's not safe. It ain't safe out there. They just saw what happened to us, and
poor Sunstealer, he just wants his people.
He just wants to test if the water's warm, Except he's a program. Just remember, guys, he's a program.
He's a program, but his people.
His people.
You gotta think about that.
Yeah, except I feel like it's not very nice to use other civilizations as bait. But that's just my hot take.
No, my hot take is it's okay.
Well, do you want him to activate this thing or not?
Yes.
Yes.
I want to know what happens. His people were there first too.
Right.
I mean, if Sylveste was so in love with the idea of learning about them,
might as well
bring them back.
Yeah.
But that's just my hot take.
But Sylveste gets his conscience back. That's not his hot take.
Oh, true.
He says, maybe I shouldn't get everyone killed, and he decides, Sister's like, yeah, we're just gonna do a few tests. You won't be hurt. We're just going to have you do some tests. They'll probe you a little bit. You'll do some math problems, and they'll see that you're intelligent and you're ripe for the killing. And Sylveste goes, that sounds like a great time. I'm kind of curious. And Sister's like, yeah, I'll return you all good and sound. But Sylveste goes, you know what? I'm not gonna do it. I'm turning over a new leaf. I care about people who aren't myself.
He's married.
And he talks to his dad, Dan Sylveste, and he says, you're me, aren't you? We're one and the same. And then Dan says back to him, I love this part. Dan says back to him, or was it his own thoughts? He can't really differentiate between Dan talking and his own background thoughts. They basically merge and become one person again. After being separated for so long, now they're kind of one person.
Cute.
I think it's nice. It's a good ending. Too bad that happens right before he decides to activate his eyes, blow up the white dust, the antimatter, blow himself up and everything else up.
So when he blew himself up, that didn't activate the poking kind of thing?
Maybe.
He's far from it?
Well, he's in it, but the poking thing, just metaphorical poking thing, the device, the device wants the biological to solve some math questions, to display intelligence, so they know that it's not just energy, it's a biological intelligence. So it might be too late though. It might detect that there was life in there. He's just not giving it the chance to see what humans are. And so he sacrificed himself like that, blows himself up.
Oh, sweet. Sweet
And that's
sacrifice.
the end of Dan Sylveste. Where is it?
And then Ilya.
Ilya kind of sees this from space. She's a flash inside
Just
the
watching.
planet.
Yeah.
She doesn't have much else to do.
Mm-mm.
And then Ilya, watching this going on, sees the ship detector. And she's like, bring it on! Kill me, why don't you? You know, take me out already! And like it was responding to her, it releases a shuttle to go after her, to pick her up. Huh?
That's cute. So like the captain is nice, or no? Captain still cared about Ilya to like bring her back, right?
We don't know. I mean, maybe he's feeling gracious, or maybe he wants to torture her for making him become grotesquely large and take over the ship. Basically, the captain took over the ship from Sunstealer by just growing into it, pretty much. And so now the captain has control of everything, and so instead of killing her outright, he's gonna send a shuttle to go pick her up. What a nice guy.
At least she won't die in space.
At least she won't die in
She'll
space.
live a little bit.
Maybe she'll die way worse. But we'll see next book.
What happens to Ilya?
Wait, what happens to
Pascal?
and Kyre? They die. Guys, they die. I'm sorry to kind of tell you this, but they die. Okay, they kind of die. They die in
Just
a
like
way.
everybody else, they kind of die.
They kind of died. So they get spaghettified and they land on this planet. They land on this. Well, they don't land on it. The bits of them that got stretched land on the neutron star computer. But they get computated into it. They know it's a computer, but it is. So now they're in the computer. And this is the wackiest, wacky, tacky moment in the book where I didn't really understand what was going on the first time I read it. So let me try and break it down a little bit. Kyre wakes up, she's like, where am I? And Pascal's like, come with me, I'll show you. And then Dan Sylveste is there. What happens? Didn't they die? Dan Sylveste was scanned, remember? So now he's in the computer. And then Pascal tells Kyre that they got scanned as they came into the computer by dying. They got scanned, so now they're in the computer. But Pascal wanted to stay with her husband, and Kyre wanted to leave. So Kyre has been remade into real matter, her body made again. And she's just interacting with proxies. She's not actually talking to them in real time because they're at such a higher level computationally. So they're talking to her through a proxy. And they're like, yeah, we live here. And the Amarantan are there too, by the way. They fled into the machine to escape the inhibitors. So there's not only the Amarantan in the Shroud, there's also their counterparts that live in the Cerberus Hades matrix. And so they get to study what they loved all along, forever.
Until it's not like a bad thing. They chose to do this.
They chose to do
like
this.
They like pan into the distance so you can see the little houses. And
Yeah,
"Oh, I
exactly.
live here." And
They recreated they recreated Resurgence Prime. Now they get to be, biologists instead of archaeologists.
yes. Exactly.
So they live happily
in
ever
their
after.
metaverse.
In the metaverse, they live
metaverse.
happily ever after. And then Kyre gets to leave. They say, we're going to extend space-time out to shoot you off the planet, to shoot you off the star without killing you. And we made you a new body and suit to go along with it. So
where does Kyre want to go?
well, Kyre doesn't want to be on that thing, so anywhere else is probably preferable. Volyova's like, and she gets a message from Volyova. Volyova's like, where are you? And she's like, you don't want to know. You don't want to know where I'm at. But she lifts off, and Volyova's like, well, I'm going to come get you because I'm not going back in that thing by myself.
In the ship, in the captain's ship.
In the captain.
After
I'm
they
not going
were
into the captain by myself. And she, lifts off. And she sees the ground drop below her. The end.
Crazy. That was
That's
weird.
it.
It ended into
Whoa! It ends.
the Matrix.
It ends with the Matrix.
It ends with the Matrix.
What do you make of that ending?
It was weird. It was crazy. It felt very sudden. It felt like very...
Cliffhanger?
No. I don't know. I don't feel like... I'm not really angsty anymore. I feel like if it would have ended with the Sun Stealer confronting Sylveste and telling him his big old plan, that would have been like a cliffhanger.
Right.
But it just kind of ended like right there, like, oh, here's what happened, and Sylveste just said, okay, explodes, done. Like, all of that was for nothing. Maybe if Sun Stealer wouldn't have given him his, very stereotypical villain speech, then,
He thought he had control over the situation.
Exactly. See, typical villain.
But I feel like with most villains, they think they have control, but the audience knows.
Yeah.
But then, like, in this case, some people forget that he has the hot dust. I don't know if I forgot for some reason.
He kept on saying that he does and that he doesn't.
So it was like a maybe. And it was like, would he blow himself up?
That part was surprising because he's such like a selfish person that you would think like, oh no, he wouldn't actually do it. He wouldn't have done all this work just to blow up. But then he realized, now after Sun Stealer explained to him, then he's like, okay, maybe, I'd rather die then.
Yeah,
I'd rather die by my own choice than to be used and then all that stuff. So maybe Sun Stealer wouldn't, the program wouldn't have explained his big ol' spiel, then he would have gotten what he wanted all along.
Maybe. Or, I mean, but then again, he was talking himself out of going into the inhibitor thing, so maybe it was necessary for him to just control the suit and make him do it.
Mm-hmm.
So then again, if he controls the suit, it might as well, tell him. But yeah, maybe if he didn't say anything, he wouldn't have blown up. We will not know, but yeah, I feel like it's a great ending for him. He dies.
Yeah, Sylveste was the only one who had like a very sturdy ending. Pascal and him get to do what they do, what science, women in STEM and men in STEM get to do, and learn about that whole civilization.
But it is kind of weird. It just makes you think because when they talk to Sylveste who's in the computer, he doesn't know if he died in real life. He assumes that he did, but they're not the same person. The Sylveste that sacrificed himself and died is not the Sylveste that now lives in the computer. They only diverge by like a few minutes or like a few hours, but it is a divergence still. It's a copy, so that's how you know, like, it's not just a straight copy of him. He doesn't have the same experiences. He's not the one who actually died. So it's really two different Sylvestes in a small itty-bitty way.
Makes you wonder.
So really, Sylveste didn't live, he did die. A copy of Sylveste lives. But maybe that's good enough. Maybe that's good enough.
And Kyre, she got like rebuilt, right? Like just like.
So now does she get her husband back?
I think we're way past the whole husband thing.
I mean, it is another like 15 years the other direction. But is the Mademoiselle even around anymore? Like the real Mademoiselle? So I feel like in that way it's a cliffhanger. We gotta know what happens next.
Yeah. And then Kyre, and then what's gonna happen with the captain ship and all that.
Thank you for joining us in Revelation Space. It's been a good run. We are going to do, you want to reveal what we're going to do next?
Chasm City,
yes, but I mean, before that we're going to do...
Oh, we're going to start a new series, Invisible Man.
Invisible Man?
Not the I hate you. We're going to start a new series, The Illustrated Man.
So we're going to record those episodes and then we'll get to Chasm City.
Yes, we have to take a break after our almost year-long video
Brain
series
melting
of Revelation Space.
Yes, Alastair Reynolds melted the brains. It's time to do some short stories.
Something quick, something nice, something less dorky and cliche.
Dorky and cliche. It's still dorky and cliche. We'll get into that next time on what's the name of our show? Then we're gonna rebrand again.
We're rebranding again.
What's our show? What's our show name?
Makes me something witty. To be continued.
To be continued.
To be continued.
To be continued.
Good.
Good.
Good. Good.